Introduction: Why Resilience Matters. Now, life will knock us down, that's a guarantee. But here's the question that defines your future. When the storm hits, do you break or do you bounce? Resilience, often called mental toughness, is the skill that makes the difference. It's not about being emotionless or pretending everything's fine. It's about recovering, adapting, and even growing through the hard times. And the best part: resilience is trainable. You can build it, strengthen it, and master it, no matter what your past looks like. This isn't just about surviving, it's about rising. In this Resilience Masterclass, we'll walk through practical tools from psychology and neuroscience. Habits, mindset shifts, and emotional strategies used by the most resilient people on the planet. Let's begin your bounce-back blueprint. Chapter 1. What is resilience really? Resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's not about pretending things didn't hurt. It's not about being unaffected by life. It's not about powering through everything with a smile. No. Real resilience is something deeper. It's the ability to bend without breaking, to stumble and still choose to rise. Resilience doesn't mean you never fall. It means you know how to get back up, wiser, stronger, and more grounded than before. Resilience is recovery with purpose. It's the internal decision. This moment will not define me. It's not an emotion. It's not motivation. It's a practice, a set of inner muscles you can strengthen over time. And like any strength, it grows from resistance. You've seen resilience in someone who lost everything, but still showed up with grace. In a person who faced heartbreak and still kept their heart open. In someone who failed publicly and came back even better. Resilience isn't rare. It's just not always loud. You don't always notice it while it's happening, but you feel its presence. And you remember it because it's powerful. You've probably been more resilient than you realize. The fact that you're listening to this right now, that you're choosing to learn, grow, and reframe your story, that's resilience already in motion. So if you're feeling broken, if life has knocked the wind out of you, if your confidence feels shaky, your footing unstable, let this be your beginning. You're not here to pretend. You're here to rebuild, stronger, clearer, and more grounded than ever. And this is the place we start, with clarity, with truth, with you. Recap: resilience isn't just surviving. It's how you recover, with wisdom, grace, and grit. If this chapter landed with you, follow or subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Each one is designed to help you rebuild, not just bounce back, but rise stronger. Chapter 2. The Bounce Back Cycle. Resilience isn't just a moment, it's a cycle. It begins when something knocks you down. A loss, a failure, a betrayal, a blow to your confidence. Your nervous system reacts. Your mind scrambles for meaning. And then, if you're conscious, you begin the recovery loop. There are 4 parts. Face, feel, frame, forward. Let's walk through them. First, face. Before anything can heal, it must be seen. Avoidance delays resilience. You can't bounce back from a reality you refuse to face. So what happened? What's true about the situation? What's true about how it affected you? This isn't about blaming yourself or others. It's about naming the moment. Because what you don't name, you carry in silence. Second, feel. Resilience does not mean suppressing emotion. In fact, the more you repress, the more power those feelings have. To bounce back well, you must allow yourself to feel, even if just for a short time. Sadness, shame, fear, anger, grief. They don't weaken you. They are part of you returning to wholeness. Let yourself feel. then let the wave pass. Third, frame. This is where you reclaim your narrative. You ask yourself, what does this mean? Not in the spiritual sense, unless that helps you, but in the identity sense. What does this experience say about who you are? If you let the default script run, it might say, I'm a failure. I wasn't good enough. This always happens to me. But if you pause, breathe, and choose a more empowering frame, it could become, I showed up. I learned something hard and valuable. I am becoming stronger. The story you choose affects your next step. And finally, forward. Resilience becomes real when you re-engage. You make the next move. It might be a small act of courage, getting out of bed, making the call, taking the next step forward, even if your knees shake. Forward is not always bold. Sometimes it's quiet and shaky, but it's always powerful, because moving forward says, this didn't end me. I'm still becoming. Face, feel, frame, forward. That's the cycle. You don't have to master it all at once. Just know the map exists, and you can step into it anytime. Recap. Resilience isn't denial. It's conscious recovery. One step, one truth, one reframed story at a time. Chapter 3. Emotional endurance. Resilience is more than a single comeback. It's about staying in the ring, round after round, without losing yourself. That's emotional endurance. Anyone can bounce back once. But what about the third time? The fifth time? When the hits keep coming and there's no applause? Just silence. That's when resilience turns inward and emotional endurance takes over. So what is it? Emotional endurance is the ability to hold tension without collapsing, to feel fear and keep breathing, to feel doubt and keep moving, to be in pain and not self-destruct. It doesn't mean pretending you're fine. It means staying steady while you're not. And that's a practice. Let's look at 3 ways to build emotional endurance. 1. Regulate, don't suppress. Suppression is shoving emotion down. Regulation is staying with the feeling without letting it take control. This might look like taking a walk to clear adrenaline. Naming the emotion out loud. I'm angry right now. Breathing deeply for 60 seconds instead of reacting. These micro habits give your nervous system a signal. I'm still safe. I can feel this without falling apart. 2. Widen the perspective. Pain shrinks your focus. You start believing this moment is everything, this failure, this rejection, this loss. But zoom out. Ask, will this matter in a year? What would I say to a friend going through this? What else is still true about me, even in this? Perspective doesn't erase pain, but it puts it in context. And context builds endurance. 3. Fortify the inner voice. In hard moments, the loudest voice is often your own. If that voice says, you're weak, you can't do this, you always mess it up, you'll burn out faster, not because of the world, but because of yourself. So train your voice to sound like a mentor, not a bully. Say, this is hard, but I've done hard things before. I'm learning. I'm still here, and that matters. Endurance isn't about pushing through blindly. It's about pacing, perspective, and permission to feel, without giving up. It's about holding the weight without letting it crush you. You don't need to run full speed, you just need to keep going. Even a slow walk forward is resilience. Chapter 4. Building your baseline. Resilience doesn't begin in crisis. It begins before it, in your baseline. Your baseline is your everyday inner state. The thoughts you think, the habits you repeat, the way you carry yourself when nothing dramatic is happening. Because here's the truth. When life knocks you down, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your baseline. That's why elite athletes train fundamentals, why artists return to scales and sketchbooks, why emotionally strong people build mental fitness on ordinary days. Your baseline determines your bounce back. So how do you build it? Let's focus on 3 areas. 1. Daily grounding rituals. These are small, repeatable actions that bring you back to center. Examples: journaling 1 sentence each morning. Today, I will handle with calm. A 5-minute walk without your phone, just to breathe. Drinking water, stretching, or repeating a grounding phrase like, "I've got this." These aren't big events. They're daily deposits into your resilience account. 2. Mental hygiene. Just like you brush your teeth, you must clean your mind. That means catching catastrophic thoughts before they spiral. Reframing with language like, "This is temporary," or "I'll figure it out." Unfollowing accounts or inputs that make you feel powerless. A healthy mind isn't built by accident. It's protected on purpose. 3. Micro resets throughout the day. Stress stacks. If you don't reset, you carry it all into your next moment. Try a deep breath between meetings. A mental check-in. What am I feeling? What do I need? Pausing before replying when triggered. These micro moments recalibrate your nervous system. They keep your baseline from drifting into chaos. You don't build resilience in a dramatic overnight transformation. You build it in small, repeated choices, brick by brick, practice by practice, each one shaping the ground you stand on when life gets shaky. Build your baseline now, so when the storm comes, you already have shelter within. Chapter 5. The 5 stages of resilience. Every comeback has a pattern, whether it's a breakup, burnout, a business failure, or personal loss. The bounce back doesn't happen all at once. It moves in phases, and when you understand those phases, you stop judging yourself for being in the middle of the process. You move forward with clarity and with compassion. Here are the 5 stages of the bounce back cycle. Stage 1. Impact. This is the hit. The job loss. The betrayal. The news that changes your world. Your nervous system lights up. Your thoughts spiral. Your emotions surge. Don't try to fix anything yet. Just breathe. Feel. Let the moment land. The impact stage isn't about solutions. It's about allowing reality to register, without denial or panic. Stage 2. Inventory. Once the emotional wave settles, you start to assess. Ask yourself, what happened exactly? What do I still control? What resources or support do I need? You're shifting from overwhelm to ownership. This is the first sign of internal movement. Stage 3. Interpretation. Now comes the most important question. What story will I tell about this? Be careful here, because the story you choose will shape your recovery. If you default to, "This proves I'm not good enough," you'll shut down. But if you choose, "This is one hard chapter, not the whole book," you'll keep turning the page. Your interpretation becomes your internal compass. Stage 4. Initiative. This is where you move again, even if it's small, not heroics, not hustle, just the next brave step. Sending the email, going for the walk, asking for help, making the bed. These are not just tasks, they are declarations. I'm still here, and I can still choose. Stage 5. Integration. This is where resilience becomes identity. You've processed the pain, you've rewritten the story, and you've begun to live from strength, not just survival. The setback has become part of your evolution, not the end of it. This is how bounce backs build character, not because they were easy, but because you walked through, not around, the storm. This cycle isn't always neat. You may loop, you may stall. That's not failure. That's being human. Resilience isn't speed. It's the willingness to keep showing up. And now that you know the map, you don't have to feel lost the next time you fall. Chapter 6. Speak to yourself. Like someone worth supporting. Resilience isn't just about what happens around you. It's about what happens within you, especially in the moments no one else sees. Because when you're trying to bounce back, the most important voice is your own. The question is, are you using it to tear yourself down or lift yourself up? Most people don't even realize how harsh their inner voice has become. You make a mistake and the voice says, "Of course you blew it. You never get this right. What's wrong with you?" If someone else spoke to you that way, you'd call it abuse. But because it's internal, you've learned to tolerate it. You might even believe it's helping, keeping you sharp, being realistic. But let's be clear. Shame is not a sustainable motivator. In fact, research shows that harsh self-talk increases stress and reduces your ability to recover. So here's the shift. Start speaking to yourself like someone worth supporting. Think about how you'd speak to a friend who just failed, a child learning something hard, a loved one trying again after falling short. You'd never say, "You're pathetic." You'd say, "I know that hurt, but I'm proud of you for trying. It's okay to feel this. Let's take the next step together. You are more than this moment." That same tone, supportive, honest, steady, is what you owe yourself. This isn't about toxic positivity. You don't have to pretend everything's fine when it isn't. It's about grounded compassion. That was painful, but I'm still here. I didn't handle that perfectly, but I'm learning. This is hard, but I'm capable. These statements are real and they're powerful. Because your nervous system hears every word you say to yourself and believes it. A practical tool. Catch and reframe. Notice the inner voice. Ask, would I say this to someone I love? Rephrase in a way that's honest and kind. Example. Harsh voice. You're so weak. Reframe. You're hurting, and that's human. But you've made it through hard things before. Do this once, and it's a flicker. Do it daily, and it becomes your new default. Because how you speak to yourself is how you shape yourself. And resilience doesn't grow in a climate of criticism. It grows in a climate of compassion. Chapter 7. Resilience routines. You don't rise by accident. Resilience isn't just a mindset. It's a practice. And like any practice, it gets stronger through routine. The most resilient people don't wait for crisis to build strength. They rehearse it daily. This chapter is about that rehearsal. Simple, powerful routines that train your nervous system, center your mind, and help you meet setbacks with steadiness. Let's walk through 3 anchors. Morning, midday, night. 1. Morning grounding. Your first moments matter. Before you check your phone, before the world tells you who to be, center yourself. Here's a simple grounding ritual. Sit or stand still. Take 3 deep breaths. Say one empowering sentence aloud. Something like, "No matter what today brings, I'll meet it with clarity and strength." Or, "I don't control everything, but I control how I show up." This 60-second ritual trains your mind to respond instead of react. It reminds you, resilience starts before the chaos. 2. Midday. Reset stress builds. Tension creeps in. Your mind loops. Midday is the perfect time for a reset, even if it's brief. Try this. Pause for 2 to 5 minutes. Step away from the noise. Ask yourself, what story am I telling myself right now? Is this helping me move forward? Breathe. Reframe. Return. Resilience doesn't mean powering through non-stop. It means checking in, recalibrating, and then moving forward. 3. Nighttime integration. The day is done, but your mind is still active. This is the moment to harvest growth. Before sleep, ask, what did I face today that took strength? Where did I bounce back, even in small ways? What did I learn about myself? This isn't about perfection, it's about noticing. Each night, you reinforce your identity. I am someone who bends but does not break. This nightly reflection helps your nervous system close the loop. It says, we made it, we learned, we're still standing. That's resilience in practice. Final thought. You don't need an hour-long ritual or perfect conditions. You just need consistency. Small moments, morning, midday and night, woven into your routine, will quietly rewire your self-image. You'll start seeing yourself not just as someone who wants to be resilient, but as someone who is. Because resilience isn't just what you feel, it's what you practice every single day. Chapter 8. Social recovery. Resilience grows stronger in community, and community begins with connection. It's not just internal, it's social. How you bounce back isn't only about mindset, it's also about relationships, who you turn to, who you avoid, who helps you rise, and who pulls you back down. This chapter is about building a resilient environment, starting with the people around you. 1. Know the cost of isolation. When pain hits, many people withdraw. They go silent, shut down, disappear. Sometimes that's necessary, a moment of solitude to catch your breath. But over time, isolation isn't healing, it's corrosive. Without others to mirror your strength, your hope, your progress, it's easy to spiral inward. We're wired to co-regulate, to process, grieve, and grow together. The first step is simple. Let someone in. Even if it's just one person, even if it's just a text. I'm struggling. You don't have to carry it alone. 2. Choose your circle. Wisely, not all support is equal. There are people who'll feed your victim story and people who'll help you rise. You need the second kind. Supportive doesn't mean soft. It means safe. Someone who listens, doesn't judge, and gently reminds you of who you really are. Ask yourself, who grounds me when I'm spinning? Who reminds me of my strength? Who holds space without trying to fix me? Those are your resilience allies. Keep them close. 3. Speak it to break it. One of the most healing actions is to name what you're carrying, out loud. You don't need a perfect speech. You don't need to be fully clear. You just need to say it, because what you name loses power. What you express becomes processable. And when someone responds, I see you, I hear you, I've been there too, your nervous system exhales. You're reminded, I'm not broken, I'm human. That's the power of connection. 4. Contribute where you can. One of the fastest ways to recover your power is to help someone else. Not as distraction, but as dignity. When you're hurting and you still choose to encourage, to give, to show up for someone else. You send a message to your brain. I still matter. I still have something to offer. And that rewires your story, from victim to contributor. Even small acts count. A kind message, a shared story, a moment of presence. You're not just healing. You're participating in the healing of others. That's resilience at its highest level. Final thought. You're not meant to bounce back alone. Your strength is yours, yes. But it's also reflected, reinforced, and remembered through the people you trust. So don't just build inner resilience. Build social resilience. Find the voices that lift you, the arms that hold you, the spaces where your healing is not only possible, but welcome. Chapter 9. Resilience and Identity Every time you bounce back, something deeper is happening. You're not just recovering from a setback. You're rewriting your self-concept. You're proving to yourself what kind of person you are. And over time, those proofs accumulate into identity. Resilience isn't just something you do. It becomes something you are. Each time you rise from disappointment, each time you face a hard truth, each time you keep going, even with shaky hands, you tell your mind, I'm someone who gets back up. That's identity. Not the motivational kind, but the real kind. The kind built from experience. The kind that sticks because it's been tested. What you believe about you matters. If you believe, I'm fragile. I always fall apart. I'm not built for this. Then in moments of struggle, your system will look for ways to confirm that. But if you begin to adopt, I can bend without breaking. I've made it through before. I don't crumble, I recalibrate. Then that becomes your baseline belief, even before the next challenge hits. Resilience isn't just reaction. It's pre-installed confidence. It's what lets you say, no matter what happens, I know who I am. And when that's true, you become harder to shake. Because your identity isn't tied to outcomes. It's tied to character. It's rooted in values. Proof builds confidence. Confidence doesn't come from wishing. It comes from witnessing yourself overcome again and again. Look back. You've already made it through things you once thought would break you. What does that say about you? What if that was your identity? I'm the one who bounces back. Let that label stick. It's not just a description, it's a decision. Final thought. You become who you repeatedly prove yourself to be. Not who others say you are, not who you were 10 years ago, not who fear says you'll stay. You are what you choose to embody, especially under pressure. You're becoming it. Because resilience, practiced often enough, becomes self-image. Chapter 10. The practice of becoming resilient isn't a one-time response. It's a lifestyle, a way of showing up again and again with clarity, courage, and commitment, even when life doesn't go your way. This final chapter is your reminder. Resilience isn't just what you feel, it's what you practice. You become by repeating. Who you are becoming is shaped by what you rehearse. So if you keep rehearsing defeat, you become someone who expects to lose. If you rehearse compassion, grit, hope, you become someone who rises. You're not stuck with an old identity. You're invited daily to embody a new one. Practice looks like this. Speaking to yourself like someone worth supporting. Taking small actions even when motivation is low. Pausing when it hurts, then choosing to move forward anyway. Asking, what would the resilient version of me do right now? This is the work of becoming, not grand, not dramatic, consistent, quiet, relentless. The tools are now yours. Over these chapters, you've gathered a full resilience toolkit. Acceptance, not avoidance. Emotional awareness, not suppression. Meaning-making, not self-blame. Small steps, not paralysis. Inner voice, not inner critic. Identity, anchored in strength, not outcomes. You have what you need. Not for perfection, but for progress. Final reflection. You will still get knocked down, but you'll stay down less often. And when you rise, it won't feel like survival. It will feel like alignment. Because now, your bounce back isn't just about recovery. It's a return to your becoming. If this audiobook gave you something you want to return to, subscribe to BeBelieveBecome TV. This is just one part of your growth journey. More chapters, more mindset tools, more ways to become who you're meant to be. Until next time, keep showing up. Keep becoming. You're already on your way.